Well, good evening, this is Hound Dog Steve coming to you on March the 14th. And Brexit, here we go again. The votes have been held, and what a kerschmuzzle this is. What a dog's breakfast. Oh my God. Well, welcome back to all of you who are returning to my channel, and a big call out to anyone who is the first time here. I hope you enjoy the information. And yeah, here we go. Now, they had the first vote, which was to see whether they would accept Theresa May's new Brexit deal with an amendment, and that was absolutely trounced. They lost by 149 votes. Now, you have to remember that the people who voted this down, okay, are also Remainers. The fact that even Remainers voted against this deal should give you just some idea of how terrible it was. And you know, the British used to be renowned for their negotiating skills, and from what I can see of this process, it's almost as if it were manufactured to fail. And you know, I really don't know how you can make these kind of mistakes. These are pretty basic negotiation tactics and techniques, and even if Theresa May didn't know them, she would have surely had advisors who did know. And she said herself, you know, here is a quote of her saying that no deal is better than a bad deal. Well, Theresa, you know, why don't you live up to that commitment? This should be a no-deal situation, and I'm just shaking my head. Anyway, this, Anyway, I'm going to read to you the three main parts of this so, as I say, I see this as a complete betrayal of the British people who voted to leave the EU. Anyway, I wanted to read to you the three parts of the contract that Britain will be entering into if they vote for this deal next week. Okay. The first lock, the transition period. The first lock is a transition period which lasts until at least 2021. We must hand over an estimated £39 billion for nothing, be bound by the EU law, and take orders from an unelected joint committee operating under the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice. Will the EU 27 agree to an equitable free trade agreement before the end of 2020? Unlikely, since all the goodies they want in the future partnership are set out in the Northern Ireland backstop, which kicks in automatically on 1st of January 2021 unless superseded by a partnership agreement. Full ratification by all member states is required before any such agreement can come into force. Achieving this in time to avoid entering a backstop will be nothing short of miraculous. Even if the EU agrees to extend the transition period for 1 or 2 years, so it is more pay with no say, and a likely doubling of the Brexit bill to £80 billion to be paid with no reference to British MPs. Yeah, I'm just shaking my head. The second block. Not only does the backstop carve out Northern Ireland as an EU province and set a border in the Irish Sea, it creates a partial customs union that requires us to implement EU trade tariffs and policy with no decision-making powers. Under highly restrictive non-aggressive clauses, the UK also agrees to implement all EU environmental, competition, state aid and tax harmonisation laws, with the unelected Joint Committee and the ECJ once again able to punish us for any perceived backsliding. British farmers will be locked into a subsidy regime well below support received by EU 27 farmers, who nevertheless retain tariff-free access to UK. British farmers will be locked into a subsidy regime well below support received by EU 27 farmers, who nevertheless retain tariff-free access to the UK. British agriculture will be decimated. It means we could not support British businesses, give ourselves a competitive edge in new technologies where we excel, strike independent trade deals, or diverge in key policy areas such as goods regulations and tax. Free EU access to UK fisheries is set down as a mark of a negotiation in the future deal. Lock 3. Our future relationship. The political declaration replicates all the onerous non-regressive clauses of the backstop and requires even more surrender of sovereignty via participation and funding of the EU's aerospace and defence programmes, free access to UK waters for EU fishermen, a full customs union and common trade policy, free movement by the back door under the mobility clauses, EU control of UK agriculture via state aid rulers, and in general full adherence to the acquis communautaire in all policy areas. Now, I don't know who negotiated that deal, but you basically have turned Britain now into a vassal state. They are an underling of Europe. They have no vote, they have no say, they have no place on the European Council. This is just an absolute disaster. And so how do Britons feel about this? Well, they're not very happy at all. And I can't blame them. This is just a disaster. Now, with the hard exit off the table, or the no deal exit off the table, there are only two choices. Okay, so the next thing that is going to happen is there will be a meaningful vote next week when Theresa May represents the deal that she has already failed to get approval of 2 times before, because if she doesn't get that approval, she will have to go back to the EU and ask for an extension, and if there is some hope that she can renegotiate this, it may be a temporary extension to June, although the EU is going to charge £1 billion per month for any delays in the EU exit, for any delay in the exit of Britain from the EU. But of course they love this deal. EU just loves this deal. This is a wonderful deal for them. They have got basically everything they want. They have punished Britain severely, and I wouldn't be surprised if this gets down to the public, what's actually in this deal, there will be a riot on the street because it's a complete sellout. I can't believe that Theresa May would even be behaving like this. It's unconscionable. This is not what the British people were promised when they voted for Brexit. So anyway, if there's no deal in 3 months, if they can't come up with some kind of negotiated agreement in 3 months that all member states of the EU will accept, we're now looking at a 2-year extension, 2021. And of course, you know, as it says, the Irish backstop will kick in automatically in 2021, and there you go, you're done. It's all over. So the only thing that I can see, the last basically hope, because they can vote all they like in the House of Commons and get any result they want. However, if the EU does not ratify any of this stuff, then we will have a hard exit. It's as simple as that. But because that's the thing Europe is most afraid of, which is why we should never have taken that off the table, of course they won't give us that. So of course, because that's the thing that Europe is afraid of, I'm pretty certain that you will see all 27 member states will vote to accept the Brexit deal. And that's it, it will be done and dusted. Okay, so I just have a couple of little clips here to show you, and then we'll come back and do a quick wrap up. Okie dokie, here we go. Russia Today. British MPs vote in favour of ruling out a no Brexit deal. UK MPs have voted to take a no-deal Brexit off the table for good as they passed a motion that rules it out in a decisive 321 to 278 vote. Here we are from the BBC News. Brexit MPs vote by a majority of 211 to seek delay to EU departure. MPs have voted by 413 to 202, a majority of 212 for Prime Minister Theresa May to ask the EU for a delay to Brexit. It means the UK may not now leave on March 29th as previously planned. and no deal still the most popular Brexit option. Despite a never-ending series of threats from giant EU-funded corporations and even warnings that 12,000 people will die from lack of fruit, the latest Sky Data poll has found that no deal is still the most popular Brexit option. When asked to choose between the three options, 39% of voters favoured no deal, ahead of 34% who supported May's deal with the backstop removed, and only 27% who backed May's original deal with the backstop. Almost three quarters, 75% of voters prefer either no backstop or no deal. So quite frankly, at this point in time, I'm feeling pretty sorry for the British public. They're in for a whole lot of hurt and pain in the future over the next 3 months and 2 years and on into the future as far as we can see. As I said, in this particular situation, all that we can hope for is that some rogue European states, possibly like Poland, like Italy, like Hungary, like Austria, will vote against it and give us the hard exit and cut Britain loose. I think you may find that Italy will do that because Italy is probably going to be the next on the list of exiteers from the EU. Okay, well, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe below. And in the meantime, this is Hound Dog Steve signing off. And I hope you have a great rest of the week. And we'll talk to you very, very soon. See you now. Bye.